Some chapters ago, Weisz said he was working on a weapon, and what he was working on was a Super Sentai armor. That is, I didn't really think that Weisz struck me as a guy who would, be into Arsenal-like abilities. But I guess it is what it is. He is who he is. And also, a couple of episodes ago, Hermito talked about that no one should be able to find Eden's no Zero because, it is, she who does the jamming. Then how, for some strange reason, did Draken Jo find it? Or did he just simply look around? Because if you think about it, Eden Zero wasn't that far away from Sun Jewel. Regardless, no one is on that ship except 3 of the 4-star shines and maybe Captain Connor. So the biggest question is now, will we really lose Eden Zero to Draken Jo? And until sorry, I have a little hesitation. Until Shiki and crew manage to liberate it from Draken Jo, and that will be in the end be the conflict. I wouldn't exactly say I like that kind of despair, but it seems likely that will be the case. Yes, this is Eden Zero, chapter 6-1, and from me, the Angry Anime Fan. As I said before, now with Draken Jo taking over the Eye, he has already discovered where Eden Zero is, even without the Eye, which is actually a distance of 750 away. And he proclaims they're going to steal it with hand-to-hand combat, proving that yes, Draken Jo is all about hand-to-hand combat. And as I said before, the only ones on that ship right now are 3 of the Star Maidens, and I presume Captain Connor. Can any of them even stand any remotely chance against Jo and his crew? Well, granted, it's not exactly yet stated how strong the maidens are in combat, but I don't think they are weak. After all, they served Siggy. But I'll guess we'll see. Since the weapon of Eden Zero is gone, who knows? Kurenai demands the Kurenai Draga. And this episode thus shows that Nino is a token good teammate of the Madame Kurenai's employee, saying that he would rather not do this, but he has no choice. And Kurenai is willing to do all this, but Shiki does not like it. And then the Kurenai dragon appears, the giant armor robot than before. It is actually a giant robot armor that Kurenai enters and pilots. So that it seems to be it. It sends Shiki flying, but Shiki managed to recover from that, although his own punch is not enough to wound it. It pisses me off greatly that he cannot even wound a big robot. Do not make Shiki so weak. We need hope now. But I guess this will justify every single one of the Eden Zero crew team up together to defeat Kurenai or Homura. Either way, the armies of Kurenai are heading towards the district. As I think one of the greatest enforcers in this scenario is actually Rebecca, who together with their Happy Blasters managed to make quick works of the enemy soldiers because they are weak to ether bullets. And I really say I have to like Rebecca entering this scenario. She's not a helpless fighter by any means. Granted, she only has the happy blasters and she still doesn't really have used her ether gear yet, but we'll see. But then the Santen 3 arrives as he proclaims he's mad too. But then his axe is blocked by an armored person who calls himself Arsenal. But Rebecca as well as Pino immediately says that is Weisz. Now dressed in a full body armored. The weapon-clad steel armor, although he insists on being called Arsenal. So yeah, I didn't know young Weisz had such a thing for the dramatic. But that's basically this chapter. Again, the despair is winning. Shiki cannot even scratch armor, but is this meant to justify Homura joining into the fray? After all, her weapons have been noted to cut a lot of things. Or something else. Homura still hasn't entered the fray. She needs to do it now because everyone is dangerous. But now Weisz has descended on the planet, wielding a pretty cool armor. I guess that's how he's gonna make short work of it all. But the biggest despair is the fact that every single fighter of Eden Zero is gone from Eden Zero, as Draken Jo has found it. And this really begs the question, what will happen now? None of Eden Zero knows that Draken Jo is there. Well, granted, maybe Shiki saw, but he doesn't know that Draken Jo is after Eden Zero. So it wouldn't surprise me if this arc ends with Kurenai defeated, but Eden Zero confiscated by Draken Jo. If you think about it, that would make an excellent excuse for Shiki and gang to pursue Draken Jo, to take it back. I always asked myself, how would Shiki be dragged into the scenario with Draken Jo? Draken Jo is after Eden Zero, so I always presumed they would have to fight each other eventually. And again, the most popular theory is that Draken Jo would win against Shiki at least once, because after all, Draken Jo is not meant to be a pushover. And by the way, I don't like that despair. Shiki is a main protagonist. He is supposed to win. But if you think about it, one good way to create a very despair story is if Draken Jo actually takes the ship now. And even if Shiki and gang wins against Kurenai, they have lost Eden Zero to Draken Jo. And how are they gonna get it back? By confronting Draken Jo, despite his power. That would make sense in a story-wise position. I don't like that scenario only because I don't want the despair of losing Eden Zero to Draken Jo at all. But from a storyline position of let's confront Draken Jo and win him, that is the only scenario I can see. The question is though, will that happen? Because again, all the main fighters are gone from Eden Zero. But 3 of the Storshan's maidens, and I presume Captain Connor, are there. And the biggest question is, are they helpless? I don't think they are. I don't think they are helpless against Draken Jo. The biggest problem is, right now, do they have enough power to destroy Draken Jo's forces? We just don't know. Because right now, we have to see who wins who. Arguably the biggest MVP in this chapter was Rebecca, making quick work of the soldiers. And that was satisfying. And Weisz has descended in a nice new suit. So all in all, it wasn't a bad chapter. I just don't like the despair that is hanging in the air. And yes, that wasn't an unintentional pun. So give me your thoughts if you have any.